about the outer facade of the structure. Right. This is, if you look at the structure chronologically, this is not the oldest structure in the gardens. We'll be actually seeing the oldest right at the end. So this is one of the earliest structures to be built in the complex. Okay. The reason I emphasize a lot on this structure is because it belongs to a dynasty which is very lesser known, and we hardly have any structure which belongs to this dynasty. We hardly got 2 or 3, that too in ruins. So this is one of the best example to see the architecture of this particular dynasty. Okay. This is a tomb. Tomb is generally a structure, is an Islamic structure, we won't be able to see tombs of Hindus or Hindu rulers. So tombs are generally Islamic in nature. This tomb belongs to a ruler called Muhammad Shah Sayyid. He is the 3rd ruler of this lesser known dynasty which ruled Delhi, that is Sayyid dynasty. Right? This was built during 14th century. Correct. It was a tradition to build the tomb of your father. So every son's got a responsibility to build his father's tomb. It's generally built when the ruler is alive. Okay? So this was built by Muhammad Shah Sayyid's son during 14th century. This guy was the 3rd ruler of this dynasty. Okay, if you look at the structure, it stands right above the ground level. It stands right on an artificial mound sort of a thing. That is to give a very supreme, a strong look to the garden, because to the tomb, because it belongs to a ruler. It doesn't belong to a commoner. So every possible way they've given the grand look, the supreme, the huge look to the structure. The main material used to construct the structure is grey quartzite stone, which was locally mined in Delhi, which was locally available in Delhi. They didn't import it from any other place. It was locally available in Delhi. The reason we see the structure not very intricately carved and designed, the reason is because of the hardness of the stone. The stone is very hard to carve and to design. That's why early Islamic era, right in 13th and 14th century, we see structures which are very less, which is minimally carved, which are very less carved as compared to the later structures, that is, Taj Mahal. If you take an example of Taj Mahal, Red Fort, they're all very beautifully carved and designed, whereas the earlier structures like these are very less carved and designed. The reason is because quartzite was a very hard stone to carve and design. Alright. This particular structure is an octagonal structure with 8 sides. Right? Before I talk about the interiors, just focus on the roof of the structure. That particular circular roof is called a dome. Dome is again very Islamic in nature. It was imported by, it was copied from Roman architecture in 13th century and was brought into India by these Islamic rulers who came from Central Asia. Alright? So it was again, Indian builders were not used to this particular Islamic architectural element. If you notice, that dome is crowned by lotus petals. Yeah, and lotus is again not an Islamic flower. It is more sacred for Hindus. So that is the element which was copied from Hindu architecture. These rulers, even though they came in with new architecture, new style, new religion, new language, everything was new to them. This place was new to them, but they never ditched the Indian architecture completely. They copied many fascinating features from Indian architecture as well. So that is one. Lotus petal is one of the architecture which was copied from Hindu or let's say Indian architecture. Right? Okay. To notice, the main dome is surrounded by the replicas of the main dome. If you notice, there are small replicas. That is called, in Hindi it's called chhatris. In English you call it a royal umbrella. Okay. So yes. So the whole idea is that the main dome is the sun, and which is surrounded by other planets. So these Islamic rulers, they believed a lot in astronomy and cosmic symbols and a lot of universal and celestial bodies. That whole idea was there. It was also copied while constructing buildings as well. So the whole idea is to show that the ruler was the sun, the main one, and the replicas are his subordinates or his followers. So that is the idea. And again, if you come down a little bit, you will see the slanting thing which is projecting out. That is called a chhajja. Alright, a chhajja is again a Hindu architectural element. It is used for Hindu palaces. If you go down to Rajasthan and places like that, you will see this. This is a common feature for Hindu buildings. Okay. Before we enter the main central room, you have to enter through this pillared veranda, if you notice. So the structure is surrounded by a pillared veranda, and structure stands, it's already standing on a mount, but if you look at it, it's again standing on a drum. Again, to give it an elevated look. And this particular thing, I want to believe it was copied by the later rulers as well. If you go to Humayun's tomb and Taj Mahal, you will see the structures are standing on a drum. It used to give strength to the structure. If it's above the ground level, it gives strength because the drum has pillars inside. So the drum is covered with pillars, which is giving strength to the structure. Alright. So that is about the outer facade. I'll just explain. And one more thing. Even though we are looking at Islamic structures, but these Islamic structures also have Hindu elements. So that's why historians have given these particular architecture a name, that is marriage of two architectures, that is Indo-Islamic architecture. The term given to this particular architecture is Indo-Islamic architecture, and historians call it marriage of two styles, Indian and Islamic styles. As I said, if you see, it is a single-storied structure with a huge central room and a huge dome. You must have seen the dome. It's a huge high dome. And before we enter the central room, you'll have to enter through the pillared veranda which surrounds the structure. If you notice the pillared veranda, it has arched openings. Yeah. Again, as I said, just like a dome, arch was also copied from Roman architecture in 13th century. So these two things, arches and domes, were brought into India by Islamic rulers, and Indian builders had to practice to build a proper, a good dome and a proper arch. Earlier, if you notice the structures, if you go down to Qutub Minar complex and all, you will see, bad arches. That's why they were not complete arches. That's why the buildings have fallen. So they were practicing. So while by the time you reach Mughals and all, you see perfect arches and domes being built. Yeah. Alright. As I said, due to the hardness of the stone, if you notice the pillars and the roof, the ceiling, they're not that carved and designed. Whatever you have, whatever you see, the carvings, they're all done on the plaster. Yeah. So it's not done on the stone. It's done. They did the carving on the plaster. So that's why you don't have many carvings left, because plaster was mixed with many organic material which attracted fungus and the moisture content and all. Due to that, you don't see much plaster work anymore. Okay. I just want to show you the gateway of the structure. If you notice, there are 3 gateways. Alright? Actually, there are 4 sides, but except one side, you will see gateways on all 3 sides. The gateway is little interesting. Even though this was an Islamic tomb or a structure, the entrance is just like a temple gateway because of the use of pillars and beams, and also because of the lintels. Okay, probably they were reused material. Material taken from a temple or a Jain temple, or probably they copied from the Hindu. It can be either of the reasons, you don't know. And the builders, since the builders were Indian builders, because they must have copied or they must have used the material used for existing Hindu temple. So we don't know, but the gateway is just like a temple gate. Yeah, and if you notice, at the gateways you will see this pot-like designs. It is a kalash. Kalash is again used for Hindu rituals. It's a pot used for Hindu rituals. It's not Islamic at all. So again, the gateway and the lotus and the kalash is all Hindu architecture. Yeah? These are all male graves. These are all female graves. The difference is this particular stone. This stone is called a kaladan. Kaladan is to mark a female grave, whereas male grave, whereas female grave is flat. So that they are all female, and females hardly became officers. So they were all his favorite family members, and these were probably wives or daughters. I'm not really sure, we don't know. But these were all male officers. Someone who was very important and influenced the ruler. Alright. As I said, these are three sides of the structure, right? And these three sides are not as important as that side. That side is the western side. Western side signifies the direction of Qibla. Qibla is the holy place for the Muslims, that is Mecca, Medina. For India, or for South Asia, Mecca falls on the west side. So the west side, the wall is differently carved with a slab. Unfortunately, the slab has come out. There used to be a very carved, very beautiful, very different stone as compared to the other sides. So that particular wall or that particular slab is called a mihrab. So any Islamic structure, be it a mosque or a tomb or a grave or any structure, most of the Islamic structure will have a mihrab. That's because they use these structures also for prayer. The dead ones were remembered during their anniversaries, their death anniversaries, their birthdays, and the relatives used to come here, offer incense, and they used to pray here. That's the reason why we have a mihrab. If the structure, if it's not used for praying purpose, it will never have a mihrab. So mihrab is again a very integral part of Islamic structure. And unfortunately, the carving again has gone out. All other sides are open. If you look at the openings, right above the openings, you will see again a small opening. That is called light and ventilation. Okay? Between the two gateways, if you notice, there is another opening. That particular opening is not blocked by any other stone. It is right. You remember the royal umbrella that I was showing you? These openings fall right in the middle of two royal umbrellas. If it's right in front of the royal umbrella, it will block the light. So it falls right in the middle of two royal umbrellas. So if you notice, except this opening which is very close to the western, just to give importance to the western, because that side is where you have whoever is praying in this particular structure will face that side and pray. So that is why there is a different opening which is right next to the mihrab. Alright. If you look at the ceiling, it's very different as compared to the other parts of the structure. It's very beautifully painted. It's not carved, it's painted. The paint was called stucco work. The paint was imported from Persia. Okay, these rulers were very much influenced by Persian style, Persian culture, Persian architecture. So most of even if you see the writings, this is an Arabic calligraphy, but in other Islamic structure you will also see Persian writing. So Persia had a very high influence on these main buildings. Right? That's why we have paintwork which is similar to Persian style. They also copied it from Persian. The paintwork is called stucco work, and the paint is very expensive. It wasn't available in India, so they imported it from Persia. Right? And the main colors used for stucco work are green, red, and blue. Green stands for greenery, blue for sky, and red the small circle is surrounded by 8-pointed star. Yeah, 8-pointed. The center circle is surrounded by 8-pointed star. 8-pointed and 6-pointed stars were one of the main cosmic symbols used by these Islamic rulers. So wherever you go, most of the structures you will see 8 and 6-pointed stars. So as I said, a lot of astronomy, a lot of thinking, a lot of cosmic symbols went into while constructing